going on, Gas Gang? Today we are back with a sick video on my tuned 335D daily. We are down at Regal Autosport, and today, guys, this bad boy gets its first performance modification in my possession. Yes, guys, we are fitting an LSD to this bad boy. It's gonna be sick, so stay tuned and let's get it. Welcome to Officially Gas. Let's get it. So yes, guys, as the intro said, today we are down at Regal Autosport, and yes, we have my tuned 335D behind me. And I probably it sounded like a contradiction in that intro when I'm saying this is my first performance mod, but the car's already tuned. A lot of you guys will know that I bought this car blind, already tuned, had loads of modifications apparently on it, made 370 brake on a dyno. It might have hybrid turbos, it might not, who knows. But anyway, apart from that, all I have done to this car is fitted BC Racing coilovers and also fitted some alloys, some spicy alloys. Kind of a bit of a Marmite one. Some of you guys liked them, some of you didn't. Also some tires. I said on my first drive, if you guys remember that basically this car, in all other conditions but perfect conditions, traction control is always fighting you because it's got a lot of torque. So what happens, as soon as the power comes in, one wheel is trying to spin, and basically what's happening is it's limiting your power ultimately. Turn traction control off and all you get is the one wheel pills. So we don't want that, guys. We don't want that. And when we want to send it, and when we want to do a little spicy burnout, one wheel pills ain't cool. We want fat 11. So guys, on top of the performance advantages of having an LSD, we also want to lay down some fat 11s. So yeah, what we're going to do, without further ado, is get in there, speak to Ash at Regal. You guys will probably recognize him. I featured him a little while ago on an on-road feature style with his supercharged Hurricane. And yeah, we're just going to talk you through exactly what is happening today. So yeah, let's get in there. Ash, welcome back to the channel.
Cheers for coming down, yeah.
Thank you for inviting me down. This is actually the third time you've now been on the channel.
Yeah, exactly. We've done quite a few different things. Obviously, we did the OG battles, then we did the feature, and then now you're down here to sort of see what we do.
That's it. And obviously, like, just looking around, you've got a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of high performance cars. Do you want to kind of give us a quick rundown of what you do?
Yeah, sure. So specialising on like European cars, so anything sort of like European, like Volkswagen Audi Group, like Porsche, Lamborghini, McLaren, like all that kind of stuff. We do like all the servicing, so like main dealer, like brand new servicing. So say for example, we want to maintain your warranty, we can do all that here. Cool. And sort of like some classic cars as well. So like 964s, putting ITBs on them, big turbos on like McLarens. Obviously, you've got an RST over there, like 700 horsepower, like all kinds of different stuff, and obviously supercharging, supercars and stuff. And then the other side of the business, we do like distribution, so like wave track differentials, CSF radiators, Verkline. So we import that all from like the US, Poland, stuff like that, distribute it about. So all kinds of different stuff. Today,
we're obviously going LSD.
Yep,
no messing around. And people would have seen probably by now that the style we're going for, or not the style, the brand we're going for is wave track.
Yep.
Do you want to give us a little bit of a talk through the benefits of why we're fitting the wave track over other LSDs, and everything we have laid out?
So, I mean, the reason why you want to install an LSD at all is because most cars from the factory, they have open differentials. All that means is when one wheel starts to spin, it sends all the power to that wheel with the least amount of grip, which you know something about because of earlier on.
Yeah, so should we just flash back to that moment?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Basically one of the most extreme sort of like situations where you can visually see like how bad an open differential is. So that's one wheel was just completely stationary whilst the other one is just spinning freely, loads of smoke. So that's what happens if you want to do a burnout with an open diff. And by fitting a limited slip differential, you send power to both the wheels. So then you can do 11s rather than
11s.
just one wheel peels.
Exactly.
But also, like, if you imagine when you're going around a corner, say for example, you take like a really hard right, all the weight for the car leans onto the left-hand side, and that right side wheel is then unloaded. If you're still on the power enough to exceed like the grip level, then basically that one wheel will start to spin, similar to what you sort of like saw when you're doing like the one wheel peel. Obviously less dramatic, but that gives you like the really weird feeling at sort of like the back of the car.
Wobbly kind of
it
weirdness
just
going
doesn't
on.
really fill you with any confidence.
Right.
You kind of want to come off the throttle, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The way sort of like manufacturers tend to like band-aid over that is with like electronic systems.
That's right.
So they'll like pulsate on the brakes, stuff like that. That obviously puts a lot of load through the brakes. It's not a particularly quick way to drive a car. So yeah, that's why you install a limited slip differential. There's loads of different diffs on the market, like plate diffs, ATB diffs. Today, obviously, we're going to be talking about ATBs, helical gear diffs, which is obviously what the wave track is, and there's a lot of different ones of those on the market, different brands, stuff like that, but there's two main different designs.
Okay.
You've got sort of like the wave track design, which is patented, and then you've got all the other diffs on the market, which are designed in the same way, different degrees of quality, stuff like that. And basically the reason why we're going for the wave track is because it has solutions to all the problems that a regular ATB has.
Okay.
Which is basically when one axle loses load, which is like through wheel slip, going around a corner, unloading an axle, or like on track where you might go over like the curbs and then like a wheel might be lifted, it will send all power to the wheel with the least amount of grip, which is obviously an open diff. So it's not solving the problem all of the time, whereas with the wave track has like a device in the center whereby it can basically create its own internal load, and that's patented. So that means you can't find it in any other diff. So no diff can function the same way as a wave track. And what that does is when there's a difference in axle speed, it starts to move on each other and push out and creates internal load.
Wicked.
So in all the situations whereby you might get like a loss of function of like an ATB, and it will start to form like an open diff, the wave track will continue to function. Other things with the wave track, like it's got carbon fiber bias plates between the pinions and the housing. So what that means is it's a consistent friction material for the entire lifetime of the diff. Okay. So instead of the pinions wearing down or like polishing themselves or like material transfer, stuff like that, which happens in all the other diffs, the wave track will just perform the same. Amazing. And that's lifetime warranted. Wow. Even in like pure motorsports use. Earlier on we were speaking about like 2000 horsepower GTRs, sort of like supercars running the big turbo kits like Lambos, Hurricanes, stuff like that. They're all running the wave tracks, like literally sat on the line, obviously grilling the tyres up. That's quite an extreme sort of like situation for a diff, and these are absolutely fine. And even like the shock loads of launching a car with really high grip, that's enough to usually break stuff, and the wave track's absolutely fine. They don't break. So obviously we spoke about your car, so yours is a late sort of like E-chassis car, so it's got a welded diff. So this ring gear would actually be friction welded from the factory onto here. Got you. And what we have to do is we have to machine this away carefully. Okay. So then we split the diff from the ring gear, and then this we'll reuse on the wave track, which we have here. Okay. And then also with the ring gear, we need to thread it to accept some ARP bolts. And then with that, we can basically fit it to the diff, and then we fit it back into an axle, which is what we've got here. This is actually your axle that's going in today. Amazing. This is the one that came out of the car. And this one here, it gives you an idea of what the diff looks like with the ARP bolts, the ring gear, and then the wave track differential itself. So that's obviously all hidden away now. But so usually what we do, we have like exchange axles. So for people who have like welded diffs, it means usually you have like a few days downtime or like a couple of weeks, something like that, whilst all the machining is done. But we actually keep exchange axles on the shelf, so we can just swap it out in one day like we're doing today. Like an M140i, for example, we can do in like 2-3 hours. Well, LSD, and you know what, after this is done, I think it's only right, well, we got a kind of show an example of how a properly functioning LSD, a wave track one, lays nice 11s on the ground, right? Yeah, I think it's actually the official bed-in process. So oh, really? We'll get it done. Well, we've got to do it then, by law. Let's get it done. Amazing, spot on. Alright guys, so whilst the diff is being fitted and everything like that is being done, I thought we'd show you around some of the cool stuff they have here at Regal, because there is some very cool stuff. So Ash. Supercharged Lambo, which everyone will be quite familiar with. We've got Chris's 997 GT3, so he owns the business. So 997 GT3, got all the CSF rads on it, it's all spherically bushed, got a diff in it. CE shifter, which is really
That's
cool.
cool,
So
for sure.
like raised upwards, nice and close to the steering wheel, super satisfying. If you've got a manual, you've got to get one of those.
Race car.
Yeah, and then as well as the Hurricane, we've got our new Mark 8 Golf R development car.
I've got to say, this looks really, really good.
Cheers, man. And then yeah, we've got the Auto Finesse M2 that's down. So
That
we
is
did
cool.
a load of suspension work on that. That's got all the SPL arms on it, all spherically bushed, CSF cooling package, wave track diff. So we've removed the factory ELSD, put a wave track in it. And then also we're going to do some software on this and downpipes whilst it's down here. So that'll be a little bit more power, a little bit more exhaust sound, stuff like that. And he wants us to do some stuff to do with the flats because at the moment it's too loud on track. So we're going to try and mitigate some of that basically, so you can enjoy it. 8V2 RS3, so full engine build from us. It's got the fully built engine. Yeah, so we built that in house. Wave track diff in it. We've got TT 777 turbo. So we're just at the stage where we're finally tuning it at the moment. So I think it's in sort of like the high 600s. Absolutely crazy.
Bro,
so,
this here. Guys, have you ever seen something like this? It's a 318, right?
no, it's 320, sorry.
Oh, it's a 320.
I keep on getting it wrong.
Okay.
I keep on getting
Okay.
abused on the internet for it. So yeah, it's definitely a 320.
Okay.
With Hollinger sequential gearbox, so SG3. It's definitely well over-engineered for this power output at the moment. And we've also got the air compressor in the back with the canister. So that basically moves a plunger that changes the gear, and it literally is seamless. Like you think DSG PDK is fast, this is on another level.
Wow.
And then also we're going to be building the engine.
Yep.
So we're going to stroke it, and I think it's going to be mid 250s.
Cool. Do you know what? I'm not going to talk too much about the feel of it. We'll save that for a feature,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, man. Let's get it done.
All right, guys, so that is a wrap. A massive shout out to Regal. They've literally smashed that job out of the park, all fitted up, checked over, test driven, and here we are now. My 335D now has a wave track LSD, and we're ready for action. I know you guys are probably thinking, Jamie, this is meant to be a daily, it's turned into a bit of a race car. I know, but you know how it goes. We daily them until they're no longer dailies. So we have my 335 done, our first performance modification. The LSD is fitted. Once again, a massive shout out to the lads down here at Regal Autosport. Wicked bunch of guys. If you do want to inquire about any work or you want to get in touch with them, all links will be below in the description. So make sure you check them out. Also a massive shout out to Wave Track, because right now we're rocking their gear, like, you know what I mean? And guys, before we do go, I'm gonna say it right now, like, share and subscribe, but you know we gotta end it the right way. So what we're about to do right now is end it the right way. Let's get it.